Welcome to Soul Conversations with Z, Healing in the Raw, where we keep it raw, real, and unfiltered. I'm Zachyra Rodriguez, a trauma specialist and marriage psychotherapist, and this is the space where we dive deep into the messy, yet beautiful and often difficult parts of life. Here we challenge ourselves to face our fears and dig deeper into self-discovery. I'm no newbie. I've navigated many rocky roads and consider myself a recovered traumaholic. Life hasn't been easy, but I truly believe that everything happens for a cause greater than ourselves. Whether you're navigating with grief or grappling with trauma, healing from attachment injuries, or working on your marriage, we're here to unpack it all. No sugarcoating, just honest conversations about the struggles we face and the growth that comes from them. You matter, you are loved, even before your existence, and you're created to do great things. So grab a seat, my friend, take a long, deep breath, and let's get real together. So let's begin.
All right. Well, welcome to Soul Conversations with Z. And we're also with Edison today. How are you, Edison?
I'm feeling good. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.
Yes.
As we were talking behind the cameras, right? This is like your second time, actually. We did a live together.
Yes.
Right. And today you're actually joining us to talk a little bit about addictions and recovery, because I know that's a lot in terms of like your background and stuff. So I'm definitely looking forward to having, the conversation with you, because as everyone knows, Soul Conversations with Z, we keep it real and raw here, and that's one of the things that we want to do.
Yes.
Right. And that's one of the things that we had spoken about as far as like what can we do as far as like to be able to bring this topic to the community in terms of addictions and recovery. And I know it's also National Addictions and Recovery Month as well. And it's also National Heritage Month, which is great. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself? And, I know you're a licensed clinician. And so just, fill us in.
Thank you for having me again.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely had an amazing live, which we both felt could have gone for.
We could have kept going, right? Yeah, we had to keep it kind of short.
Yeah, so I'm happy to be here. My name is Edison Jaquez. Been doing drug and alcohol for about 7 years.
Yeah.
And I'll get into a little bit of how that started. But, I'm just someone just to kind of, just put in perspective, someone that loves people, love helping people just because of my background, my community where I was raised, so I feel like I'm placed in the right place to be able to help those and be able to be a voice to those that sometimes feel like don't have a voice.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. So what inspired you to become a clinician?
I never wanted to be a clinician. Oh, okay. Right? Just going backwards as far as my drug and alcohol journey. That kind of fell into right place, right time, knew the right people type of thing. But I never looked at it as like, I want to be a drug and alcohol counselor. I grew up in an environment, community where that was the only way people knew how to cope.
Wow.
So for me, it's like, I want to stay away from that.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want, it's kind of messing up my friends. I'm seeing family members. I'm seeing people, really fall into it. I don't want nothing to do with it. Okay. Ironically, a friend of mine opened up a treatment center in my hometown and reached out to me to just do mentoring. Hey, I have a few high school kids. Just come mentor them, come be, a leader for them and kind of walk them through this mentorship program I have.
Yeah.
Little did I know, I ended up stepping up one day and running a substance group for him. Just because the person never showed up, the group counselor.
So you kind of just fell into it.
Fell right into it. That's why I said at the beginning, it wasn't something where I said, hey, I want to be a drug and alcohol counselor.
Like, here I am.
So fell into running the group for him. He said the feedback the next day was like amazing. Like, who is this guy? We want him to come back. Yeah. He was so real with us. He related to us so much. And then, we had to sit down and he was like, I'll put you through school. I'll pay for this. I'll pay for that.
Oh,
and
really?
Now we're here.
And here we are.
Here we are.
How long ago was this?
That was 7 years ago.
Wow. Oh
that was God. 7 years ago.
But do you feel that there was something just like internal inside of you that actually, because it sounds like the way that this happened, I know it was very organic, but at the same time, there had to be like something like a drive or something inside of you.
So there was a few drives.
Okay.
The biggest drive for me was the fear of becoming what I saw growing up.
Wow. Okay.
So seeing people, and I get as transparent as we can. Like I was living in the projects where in the elevator, there was somebody on the floor drunk.
Oh, wow.
And I'm with grocery helping my mom go to the 8th floor.
Yeah.
The elevator's broke. We taking the stairs. Somebody's shooting up in the stairs. And we're just kind of like.
Wow. Were you ever like afraid that, wow, this could be me? That kind of like just said like, that's it. I need to do something different.
Yeah. Well, I think that was the biggest fear for me. The biggest fear was being able to see how adults that I looked up to was coping with life stressors.
So I guess that was pretty much like a stressor for people just to say, okay, well, this is a coping mechanism. I'm just going to just go ahead and do this because there's no other outlet. Yeah. Right? Because people are always searching for something, right? That outlet.
Try to fill a void. To the point, Sashi, where it got really scary for me around 12, 13-year-old because people were normalizing this. This became a normal behavior.
Yeah.
You know, I come out with my friends to play basketball to the basketball court, and then you have people just sitting there drinking, smoking, marijuana, looking for drugs and just around kids.
So for you, it's like normal language. It's like, okay, they're just, they're drunk or they're high.
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay.
Well, I mean, to the point where, and obviously I'm not proud of this, but it became a joke for us. Like, we'll make fun of them. Look at that drunk guy.
Yeah.
Like, it was just kind of like just fun.
Yeah.
To mock these people, not knowing that could lead them to, worse
destruction, basically. Yeah. So what do you think people misunderstand about like addictions itself?
The biggest thing for me in this journey that I have seen to be a misunderstanding is the looking down on those that are struggling with addiction. Right? Like, I have come across so many people who are like, I don't want to be around them. I don't want to have a conversation with that person. That person's horrible.
Yeah.
Because they drunk, so they're using drugs, or, they making certain behaviors to leave their kids at home, whatever might be happening.
Yeah.
There's a big of like, I don't want to surround myself with those people.
Yeah. So with that, right, because we're talking about like the misunderstanding of addictions, because I know that sometimes we'll hear people say that, oh, it's a sickness. Why don't they just stop? They just need to get off of it. Like, what would you say to people when they're making those type of statements?
I always like to say that you have to look at it as a disease, right? Whichever way you look at it, right? It's chemical going to the brain, right? It's a disease. These people are chasing a high, right? That they'll never find,
right?
Just to put it out there.
Because that's interesting, right? And that's very important that they're chasing the high that they're never going to find.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So elaborate a little bit on that.
Yeah, I mean, you look at addiction for the people that might be listening to this podcast that might not have too much information or background on it, right? The minute it hit the brain, the chemical, right? It hit the serotonin part of the brain where it feels good.
Right.
Right?
It's like that high, that
it's
peak.
It's like that high, that peak.
Absolutely.
So the brain automatically think like, I could find that again. So I would do everything in my power to find that again. And that's how addicts continue to same behavior, right? Chasing the same thing.
Yeah.
But it will never be the same.
Yeah. And I think after a while, right, it just becomes so normalized for them that if they don't have the high, then what ends up happening is that, yes, they do become sick because, especially like with people that are like alcoholics, if they just cannot abruptly just stop, right? Because then their body goes through this withdrawal. They could literally die if they just automatically just stop.
Well, it goes into a state of shock.
Yes.
Where now because they haven't had the alcohol for so long, or because they're trying to stop, the withdrawal become more severe. Where now they're having body aches, right? They're having pain, and they have to figure out a way to feed that.
Yeah.
Continue feeding that feeling that they're having.
Yeah, and it's, for me, the closest that I've gotten to addictions and everything else was basically growing up. So I had a brother that he actually passed away as a result of, being an addict. And I always said that I never wanted to go into that specific niche as far as like being a counselor that has to do with like addiction recovery, because it was us just trying to get like the family to understand like he needs an intervention.
Yeah.
And the thing is that with interventions, for the most part, that doesn't really work because it was just us. We didn't know, right? This was many years ago. We didn't know. So we got all the family together and the family and I'm like, no, he's definitely, he's an addict.
Yeah.
And it was just like, no, he's fine. And they asked some questions and I remember him sitting there, great brother. But it was an illness. Yeah. And I remember I had, during that time when before him passing, I had this dream that it was like, if you don't stop doing, if you don't stop using, you're going to pass away, but it's going to be 180 days. Edison, can you believe that in 3 days he passed away?
Wow.
And that was devastating for me.
Wow.
So it was so devastating because it was like, God, like, you told me you had 180 days. Like, what happened? Yeah. It was only 3 days. So for me personally, I've kind of like stayed away from that area because it's just like kind of like too close to home.
Yeah.
And for me, it's been like, I'll let the experts be the expert because to a certain degree, it felt like we failed him to a certain degree. I don't want to get, emotional, but I feel that, today it would have been different.
Yeah.
But I just feel that to a certain degree, like we didn't know, what to do back then. And I always felt that I didn't want to, go into that because it just felt too close to home. So it was interesting when you came on board, right? And it's like, oh my goodness, like you have that background, which is great, right? Which is great. But what would you tell like those families out there that they see their loved ones like struggling and they feel like helpless? Because I know what it feels like that we felt helpless.
Yeah. Well, first of all, thank you for your transparency.
Yeah.
It truly means a lot. I dealt with a lot of families, and it's very, very tough because you have one side of the family that wants to help. They don't know how to help, but they want to help. Yeah. And sometimes they do more damage than they do helping. Right? So that's the first thing I want to say to the family is be mindful of how much you're helping, because a lot of times you're doing more damage than you think you're helping.
So you're talking about more like enabling the behavior.
Enabling the behavior.
So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. So you have to understand, right, the addictive behavior and the personality is very severe. To the point, going back to what we said earlier, because they chasing a high, nothing else matters but that high.
Yeah.
Right? So they can easily manipulate a family member to give them a ride to go get high, to give them money, right? To give them something that they could sell, right? And as the outside, you're looking like, well, I'm helping that person.
Yeah.
I have
they won't
it.
Go steal or something.
Yeah, so they won't steal. I'll give them $10.
Yeah.
Not knowing that $10 is going to feed the high that they're looking for.
Yeah.
And that's one of the toughest challenges that as a counselor I have dealt with families, because families like, no, I'm helping. Yeah. If I have $10, I'll do it. So my advice to families particularly is get educated. Right? You educate yourself first.
Yeah.
Right? You find out, the counselor, or get information, do some research, and really learn how does a person behave when they are in active addiction? And that will help you understand their behavior.
So what are some of the signs? Like, let's say for that family member that is listening now and they're also going through something, similar like this, like what should they be like on the lookout for?
Well, one of the main things is the behavior and body language, right? The one thing that I kind of learned and adapted to very quickly when in dealing with clients with addiction is that their behavior change when they are seeking the high versus when they already high. When they are seeking the high, you are going to find them doing behaviors more severe than they would, being too nice, being extra helpful.
Okay, because they
need to get to their goal.
Okay.
And their goal is to get high.
Right.
So it's more
it's like a manipulation.
Yeah, it's a form of manipulation.
Right.
But because it's if we're talking family here, they manipulating their own family by doing a different behavior that will be acceptable to the family.
Okay.
Right?
So it's kind of like, oh, he's been nice. Yeah. He took out the garbage. He, I don't know, cleaned up the house.
He's still home today, watch TV. He didn't go out there.
Spend time with me.
Yes.
Okay, so then at that point, it's like, then at that point, we should be like on the lookout.
Yes. And right, so it gets a little bit tricky, right? Because you got some people that really want to change, so the behavior will show. But then you got some that the minute they got you and you gave them what they needed,
yeah,
it's off to the races, what we call it in substance.
And then it's like, it's a repeat cycle.
And then the cycle begins.
Yeah.
I do want to add too, right? Because I've seen it with my own eyes. One of the hardest things for family members is also you got to develop some patience.
And that's so hard though, because you just want them to stop. Like, just stop doing it. Like, stop hurting yourself, because that's the biggest thing, right? As a family member. And again, I could speak personally about that, is that you want your loved one to just stop doing drugs, just stop drinking, don't do anything, and that's it. So that's hard.
Yeah.
That's so difficult.
Well, I would like to introduce to the families and anybody listening the stages of changes. If you can't get past the denial stage.
Yeah, so explain that a little bit, because, right, as clinicians, we understand what that is, right? But to the audience that's listening, they're like, what is he talking about? Stages of changes? Like, what does that mean? Like, explain that a little bit.
So I'll talk about the two stages. There's two first stages, right? Which the first one is denial.
Yeah.
Right? So when you're talking about the stages of changes, if a person's in denial, that means they have yet to accept the problem.
Right.
So any solution that
they
is...
They are just telling you, no.
No, I'm not ready.
Okay.
You know...
Or nothing's wrong with me.
Nothing's wrong with me. There's no problem to fix.
Yes. Okay.
They kind of fall into also, in recovery, is called the pre-contemplation.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Stage where they there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
There's no issue here. Why do you have me in a meeting with people? Why are you trying to have a heart to heart with me? So that stage is very, very severe because until they see the problem, they will continue the behavior.
But even with the pre-contemplation, right, they're kind of like, I may have a problem, but I don't know.
But it's not big enough for me to stop.
Yes. Yeah, it's okay.
It's like a thought.
Yeah.
I might have a problem, but hold on, I got to get high.
Yes. Yeah, like I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm okay.
You're the one that's exaggerating.
Yes.
Right.
It's not a big of a problem that you're saying it is.
Yeah. So let's take it now a little bit more, closer to like the community, right? Because if we think about like the Hispanic community, especially now that we're celebrating, National Hispanic Heritage Month, and I know that you are from DR. So tell us a little bit about, your background a little bit too.
Yes. So I'm from the Dominican Republic.
Yes.
From the capital. And was there to the age of 7.
Yes.
Came here to the United States and then went back every summer. And so I started college.
Yes.
Right? Big difference.
Okay. So did you see also like addictions back in, in DR or?
I did. I just didn't know what it was.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So like and I can only speak for myself, right? Everything was celebrated with alcohol. Birthday party, baby shower. So that's as close as I got to in the Dominican Republic.
Because it's so normalized. But I think even here in the U.S., right? Because we continue our cultures, right?
We bring it right.
We bring it with us, right? So it's who we are and it's part of who we are.
And they follow us.
Yes. So in my family, I know like when they do have, let's say like parties and stuff, right? They do have like alcohol and it's like, oh my gosh.
For everything.
Yes. So even, I remember being 8 months pregnant and we were coming from my baby shower. And coming from my baby shower, my brother, he was drinking. Had too much to drink and went through a red light.
Yeah.
I ended up in the hospital, 100 and something stitches here. Wow. From here to here, all the way here, stitches in my head. This you don't know about. I'm telling you a lot of stuff today, right?
Well, we're keeping it real.
Yeah, we're keeping it real and raw.
We keep it real
and
here.
That's what the podcast is about. Yeah. And I broke my arm in 2 pieces. Here, they thought that I had lost my eye. And it was from my baby shower.
Wow.
And my husband, I remember he had to pull me out because it was a family member actually driving. And we had all the gifts. But again, we were young and stupid. We didn't know any better. We were both sitting in the front. I was sitting on top of my husband's lap.
Okay.
And he had to pull me out because my face went through the windshield.
Oh.
And it was horrifying, and we don't realize the impact that alcohol has and just addictions across the board has on people's lives. And this family member, he was so shaken up. Like he left the scene. So he left us there.
Wow.
And all he did was call the place where the baby shower was. And all he kept telling them is that I killed her. Not knowing because he was in a state of shock.
Yeah.
Right. But it has such an impact. And it's so true what you're saying as far as like the culture itself. And it follows us because some people, it just becomes too excessive.
Yes.
And that's how, so that's the reason why as you're now realizing that I have a lot of reservations as far as like the reason why I stay away from, certain things because of the fact that it's too close, it's too close to home because I almost lost my life and I was 8 months pregnant, and then my husband too, because it was glass everywhere. And all I could remember was him pulling me out or trying to pull me out from the passenger side, from the driver's side. Yeah. So it was a moment. So so talk about, like those families that they do get together and it's like, oh yeah, it's just part of the culture. Yeah. When do you realize that it's a problem?
And that's that, and I'm my hopes is that people, will kind of like be more mindful of that because of your culture, because of your pride, your ego, right? Because of the peer pressure. Yeah. That's another thing I would like to kind of touch on a little bit, right? Like adults think that they can't get peer pressure. Peer pressure can happen to anyone.
Okay, so it's not an age.
No, it's not an age thing. No, okay. Right. And I will even go further saying bullying also could happen to adults.
Okay. All right.
I had a lot of clients where it's like, well, my uncle said that I'm a punk if I don't drink, so I drank.
Okay.
Then I drove and I got a DUI.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we're talking about whole different factors on that.
We have to be careful and mindful. Shaming, belittling, the guilt, the having to prove a point, right? The people that are around you, trying to impress them.
Yeah.
Like, and the thing is that mostly in the Hispanic community, right? We do it so frequently.
Yes.
Why are you not drinking?
Mm-hmm.
We all drink.
You have something to drink, like they'll come around, right? And they'll be like, you need another one? Your cup is full?
The one is already there. It's already there. It's already there. Yeah. And you got to be mindful, right? Yes, right. At the end of the day, sometimes we look at family, we're like, but they love me and I don't want to hurt their feelings and X, Y, and Z. Sometimes you got to look at yourself. And like you said before, like some people don't have control.
Yeah.
The biggest issue when it comes to addiction in general is it will never just be one.
Okay, so talk about that.
A lot of people in their mindset will say, hey, I'm going to go to the party and just drink one.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And I'll stop.
Okay.
Or you know what, I'll have one beer today and I won't have no more.
Okay.
The one starts everything. Mm-hmm. The one is just what's going to get you closer to the 12th, to the 10th.
Yeah.
Right? So I have yet to meet people that are successful when they say, I'm going to go to a party and just drink one.
Now, you're talking about those that are, let's just say that they're addicted.
Yes, right? that they already have the addiction and they're struggling.
Right. And they're just trying to okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what would you say to a family member that they feel kind of like shame as a result of having a family member that is addicted?
Again, right, is understanding the person, right? And one key point to that question is meeting them where they at. Right? So instead of taking a lot of families, they feel like they have to take an aggressive approach to kind of get the person to stop or to understand that what they're doing is wrong. You have to take a loving approach from every perspective that you can. The aggressive approach pushes the person further than it does closer. Because then they start feeling that shame. They start feeling that, the person's better than me.
Yeah.
They coming to me, they screaming at me because I can't stop and I'm no good. I'll never be good.
Yeah. And on the flip side to that, what about those family members that they do have someone that is addicted and they feel shame as far as like not wanting to reach out? Like, what would you say to them?
I would say, first it starts with you. Right? Like you have to be able to have that conversation with yourself.
Yeah, like acceptance.
Yeah,
like this is an issue.
Yes, you have to say that this is an issue. Yeah. And, depending on the approach you want to take, where sometimes it could be through family counseling, right? It could be through educating yourself, or it could be through just having a heart-to-heart with that family member. Yeah. To kind of see how you can help, or how do you even start the conversation? Because a lot of times, what I'm finding too, Sashi, that people are not having the conversation.
Yes.
They're just leaving it under the rug. They're just sweeping it under the rug.
Yeah. People are just too busy, or they're just like, they'll be fine. But I think also we've gotten into a society that it's all about me. That we don't really have time to just sit with other people and really realize that, this is an issue. Yeah. And we need to actually, help the other person get through it. And also because of the fact that they don't want to talk about it, they kind of ignore the elephant in the room. Yeah. But there is an issue.
And it also goes back to, just because I said the stage of changes go for the clients, also go for family members.
That's good. Okay.
Some family members are just in denial.
Okay.
Well, he don't have an issue. Yeah. He don't have a drug problem. Yeah. He'll be okay. He'll come around next week.
Yes. Yes.
We got to check that.
Wow. And then you have others that only come around when they need something.
When they need something.
Right? Wow. My goodness. So what do you think is one of the myths about addictions that you wish you could erase from, forever?
That they are bad people.
Wow.
I had clients that were lawyers. I have clients that were, in law enforcement.
Wow.
I had clients that, had
so they're people.
Business degree, master's degree. They are people.
Yeah. They just ended up getting caught up, right? Oh my goodness. So if you had to, let's just say, leave one message, to the audience that they have been so mindful and so hopefully so engaged, right? Of like, what would you say to them?
That's a tough one. It's a tough one. Because I have so many.
Yeah. Well, pick a few of them. Or maybe like a message of hope to someone that's listening, that they're either struggling with addiction or maybe a family member that's struggling with addiction.
Yeah. Just never give up. Right. And I'll piggyback off that a little bit. Right. I had a few childhood friends I grew up with that are no longer here.
Yeah.
Right? Due to overdose and due to drugs and alcohol, right? And it's like a lot of times they just gave up, right? They felt like this is my life.
Wow.
Right? So I'll give a message to both the people that are struggling with it and the people that are not. You have to keep pushing, right? I'm not going to sit here and say it's easy. I'm not going to sit here and say it's linear. But what I'm saying is you have to keep pushing. Because sometimes when you just kind of like throw in the towel, everything else comes along with it.
Yeah. And I guess it's also like a mindset, because I think there's no hope. People look at it and they feel hopeless, you know, and because also that shaming that we were talking about earlier, people feel that, you know, if I do go and find help, then there will be, let's say, like the shaming, or if not, that person feels guilty, you know, so that's really tough.
Yeah, no, it is, because you have to be able to get yourself to a point where your pride ego is checked at the door, right? Because you know what's on the other side. If you don't value what's on the other side, your pride ego will have you walk away from.
Yeah. And sometimes, unfortunately, they don't see it.
They don't see it.
Right? They can't see it because of the illness.
Yeah.
And they're so entangled in it. And kind of like what you were saying when we first began talking, that I guess because of the community that maybe they're being raised in, that's all they see. You know, so I think that, you know, a message of hope also for them would be that, you know, there is hope. You know, there is hope that the conditions that you're living in, the people that you're living around, like, you don't have to be, you know, like that. There's always, you know, something better and bigger. But if we don't look for it, you know, we're not going to find it. And yes, because especially in the community of minorities, we do find this, like, it's so normalized. But the problem is that if you feel that it's a problem, it's a problem. You know, if you feel that you go to these parties and you can't stop drinking, you know, you already know that if you're drinking and you become another person when you're drinking,
which happens a lot.
Yes, that's a problem, right?
Happens a lot.
So even that's why when Christmas comes around, which is right around the corner, I'm going to say it like it is. People get involved in these parties and stuff. They end up doing stupid stuff. And then the next thing you know, you ended up sleeping with this person and that person. You got to face them on Monday morning. So all these different things, like, people do not realize the impact that it has and how it can actually damage, you know, your whole life. So as we get ready to wrap up, any other comments that you would like to share with us, Edison?
Yeah. You know, just you know, like we said, be open minded, right? Have that heart of understanding that, you know, maybe not today, but maybe tomorrow. Or focusing even on the present, right? Because a lot of times, you know, us as individuals, like you said, right, we're so busy with life, right? Life has kind of got us to a point where work, bills, family, family, right? And a lot of times it's like you sit back and you look at it like, I haven't even took care of me. I haven't had no time for me to even sit and reflect on life itself. So just stay present in the moment.
And I guess that's more like the preventive, right, piece of it, as far as like being able to, you know, focus in on other areas. So because life is stressful. And sometimes people use that as a coping mechanism.
Become an excuse sometimes.
So they use it to help them as far as like to cope, to pretty much like minimize the pain that they're going through, to kind of like erase the problems that they're actually seeing in front of them. They lost their job but it's never ever the solution because we know what the outcome is going to look like.
And sometimes it become avoidance, right? Right? Like we avoid certain things that we know are hard. We avoid
it's numbing. Yeah, it's numbing. Well, before we go, I just remembered there is a men's group that you also will be running. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
So we are promoting, just like this, right? Being able to be transparent, right? To be a voice. We are promoting a men's group that we want to do in person. Please, if you know somebody, you know, send them our way. Share this podcast. Let somebody know. I think it's also time. We are in a time of, you know, we need to have that brotherhood. Where we can have these real conversations.
And that's what it's called. It's called brotherhood.
It's called brotherhood.
As well, right? Because we talk about sisterhood, right? And there are so many sisters, and I know you and I had spoken about this before, that the sisterhood is like, you can call the auntie, the mom, la tia, la abuela, and there's just such a unity within the sisterhood community. But with men, we don't see that.
not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Yes, that's the key word.
Yes. We're breaking up. We're working on breaking that stigma. Yes,
okay,
we're breaking that. Yes. So we just want to be vulnerable. We want to be able to talk about different topics, right, that might not be talked about. Want to be able to have a heart to heart without feeling judged, right? And most importantly, I don't want to miss this. We want to create a safe space.
So elaborate a little bit on that. Like, what is a safe space? Because some people may not know, like a space. What it was safe.
Yeah. So a safe space become a place where you could have dialogue, have conversation, have heart to heart, deep conversations, and not feel judged.
Yeah.
Right. Not feel like you're wrong in the wrong place. Not feel like everybody's looking at you. Right.
Yeah.
It's like you're having this conversation because you want that unity, like you're saying.
Yeah. So what would you tell men though? Because you guys are not vulnerable. Right?
Like not yet.
Okay, I keep forgetting that word. Not yet. Okay.
I got it.
Yes, I got to remember that. Yeah. So for the men that are not vulnerable yet, okay, I think I said it correctly this time.
Yes, you did.
What would you say to them? Because it's hard.
Yeah. It's challenging.
Yeah.
But I'll say this, it's what's harder is carrying that weight by yourself. What's harder is trying to be a husband, a father, a son, a brother, while carrying all that weight by yourself.
Yeah.
That becomes harder.
Yes. And then in this space, you get to realize that there are other people also fighting the same battles that you are.
Yes.
And it's hard, right?
Yes.
But together, that brotherhood.
Yes.
You were going to say something.
No, I want to say, a thought came in my mind while you were saying that, because I'm saying, like, sometimes we look at each other as men and we portray the superhero. Right? We're like, he's
we
strong.
got it all together.
He's strong. I got to be stronger.
So it's like a competition.
It's like a competition to see who looks stronger from the outside.
Oh.
But what's in here
Yes.
becomes a challenge.
Yes, because in here is pretty much like where all that filth is actually coming from. And that's what needs to be kind of like cleaned up.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this brotherhood group will give you that opportunity to be vulnerable, to be able to talk about things. And most important, to be able to look at another brother and say, oh, he's also struggling.
Yeah. Right. And we're
I'm not
in this
alone.
together.
I'm not alone.
And it could be normalized to the sense that then what can we do now together in this brotherhood to be, so it could be better.
Yeah.
So I definitely thank you. Thank you so much, Edison.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes, for being part of this podcast.
Yes.
We're excited to be part of Soul Conversations with Thee and, for Edison coming out and being here. So I definitely thank you for that. We're going to put resources also, on this particular podcast where you can actually find, help. If you do have a family member that is struggling with addictions and need help in terms of recovery, we're going to put those resources in there. We're also going to put in the resources that I think would be great also for the brotherhood that Edison was just talking about. So we do definitely thank you. Tune in for future podcasts. We'll have other guests in, and hopefully we'll be able to bring you back, Edison.
Yeah. I would love a part 2.
Yeah, a part 2. Okay, we can bring it.
Request a part 2, people.
Yes. Please put in your comments and stuff. And if you want to see Edison back, put in part 2.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
All righty.
Yes.